Hello everyone and welcome back to the Calm Mind Podcast. I hope it's a calm one today. I've got a little bit of a headachy and a sore throaty today.
I always have a headache, so it doesn't make a difference to me.
Well, you don't have a headache when I'm talking to you on the podcast, do you?
Yeah, I do actually.
Wow. Okay, that's fine. That's a great start. Joining me as always is my lovely co-host, Ron. And making me feel better. How are you feeling? You've done a lot of traveling recently. You've got home recently, right?
Yep, this is the first podcast. I am back home. Yeah, I thought the day that I came back, I thought I was super sick. Thought I may have contracted COVID. I was probably a mixture of jet lag, headache, stomach ache, acid reflux, body ache. It's like, again, that's a problem that I have where it's like I have so many like unrelated pains that when they happen at the same time, your body thinks you're sick. And you're not.
Yeah, I don't envy that. I typically, when I get ill, it's one thing at a time. Like, I've had a pretty consistent sore throat for 2 days, so I'm pretty sure it's just a sore throat. But it kind of makes me nostalgic. I think I spoke about it in relation to when I got COVID, like it being a really good time for me. But, like, genuinely getting a cold is nostalgic to me. In that, like, right now, you've left, and you've taken the good weather with you, by the way. It's dramatically got colder over the last couple of days. You've taken the sun with you. And now that it's colder, though, it's a little bit colder, and I've got a cold. And so my brain, yesterday morning, I was hopping around on the bed. Phoebe's like, why are you so energetic? I'm like, because it feels like Christmas, even though we're in September.
Ayo, that's pretty weird, man. Not gonna lie. The man gets sick and thinks it's Christmas.
Basically, because that's what you do every year in the UK. You get ill at the holidays.
You get ill during Christmas.
Oh. Everyone gets ill during the holidays. Most people get ill during the holidays anyway.
Well, I guess you're seeing each other. You're in cramped spaces. Your immune system is not functioning as well as it is.
It's cold.
What's crazy is that for you guys, I learned that your winter is actually warmer than my winter.
Oh, really? But that does make sense. Because you get the full snow situation,
I get full snow. I get, like, feet of snow while you get not even any powder. Which is, again, bittersweet. Like, as an adult, snow kind of sucks. And you grow to learn that summer also sucks, and you only liked it as a kid because of summer vacation. And fall and spring are pretty much the superior seasons.
I don't think snow sucks. I've not yet encountered a situation. Yeah, I've never had to shovel snow.
Exactly, so that's pretty messed up.
There we go. To me, it's like this, like, once every 3-year opportunity.
And it's like 2 inches when you get it?
Yeah.
So it's like, of course you're going to be fine with it, but when you have to shovel snow off a yard and sidewalk, it's pretty much the worst. And I'm talking about, like 2 feet of snow.
Dang, that's fair. That's fair.
But that has nothing to do with anything that's going on right now, so I can't segue that into something else.
What do you want about? That was so clean. We can go from snow at Christmas to anything we want. What's even to talk about today? What are we even going to come up with today? There was a new Pokemon. As we're recording this podcast, there was a new Pokemon revealed.
Yeah, what's funny is that, so Grafaiai was revealed, the Graffiti-ii, and I got a little angry at Twitter, or people on Twitter, for, like, not understanding what Grafaiai's name meant. Like, its name was revealed before the design was, and people thought it was either a giraffe for some reason.
Grafaiai? That's the dyslexia reading.
Exactly. Or, I understand why they would think it's a Smeargle-related Pokemon, but again, it literally has II in the end of it, and in the pictures that we saw that Pokemon itself was leaking, it was clearly a primate. So it's like, I don't understand how people thought it was related to Smeargle, especially since Grafaiai is a really good name. I guess they just don't know what IIs are.
I don't think they're super commonly known about. Like, I only know about IIs through a level of, like, watching, like, shows about fact or fiction. There is this creature that brings misfortune, and it's kind of got the whole Absol thing going on, right? It's like the real world sort of version of that, where, like, if you see an II, it's supposed to, like, they may seem cute, but if you look into their eyes, which I guess is what they're named for, I don't know, you'll become cursed with some level of, like,
death.
Death and despair will follow you, even though they're adorable.
They're not adorable. I don't know what you're talking about, but they are not. No, they are scary, actually. What are they? Like, I get it. Like, they're not, like, ferocious like a lion. but like I don't want to stare at an eye unless it's behind again glass.
I think they're quite sweet. Is that weird? Is that strange? I think they're quite sweet. I see the creepy as well, but they're like little alien babies.
I guess its fingers are really what are the creepy stuff. Like it's very long. Is that a sixth finger? Or is that just one of the 5 fingers? I don't remember.
I think it's one of the 5. It's just like a middle elongated finger. Yeah.
It is. That is creepy. That is uncanny for me. But again, it's cool. Animals are cool. It has a cool feature that other animals don't have. It's very useful. And also, I'm a huge fan of Grafaiai. Like when the design came out, some people were like, "Oh, that's ugly." And I'm like, yeah, that's an eye. Like that's what eyes are. Like so,
I
it
like
makes
it
sense.
on a lot of levels. So it looks like it's wearing a gas mask, like a spray painter mask, because it's a spray painter. It sprays paint out of its nose, which is what it does in the thing. It's got the long finger that it uses to paint and create graffiti. Super smart.
And then I think the top half of its fur looks like a hoodie, and it has like hair that coming out of the hoodie. It's very smart. Like very perfect design.
I was chatting to my editor, Kotlol, earlier, and he immediately said, like, this is going to be the evil team Pokemon. And the more he said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I see that completely. I guarantee. I think it's going to be like an ace, or not like an ace, but like a regular on whoever the evil team are.
But the thing is that there are these graffiti or like artists trainer class that is in the game, and they probably have them. So I don't know if an evil team Pokemon, especially since it's not really dark type, but I guess they use a lot of normal and poison types like Grafaiai.
Yeah. I noticed that when they did the reveal, they did something really like funny, which is like they did this kind of live video type, like found footage type video, and in it they talk about how it uses its paint and the toxins of its paint lure in other Pokemon, and you see the scatterbug like go towards the paint, and then it's like, oh, it's eating berries, and I'm like, it really should be eating the bug that it just caught, but I guess Pokemon don't want to show that.
There's literally no world where they would show that. But I mean, honestly, they did it really well. Like it wasn't like sometimes when they make their own shorts or whatever, it's like not patronizing, but it sounds like a children's cartoon or ad. But like the narration's a little too friendly. But that sounded like very much like a nature documentary. I thought it was David Tennant for
David Tennant.
Yeah.
Really?
It probably isn't, but I think they were mimicking a David Tennant voice.
I definitely didn't hear that, but that's just me. Maybe I'm.
And just to make sure, we're talking about David Tennant, like the Doctor Who guy.
Yes, yeah.
The Jessica Jones guy.
This is the cleanest segue into something I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
All right, and
I still want to talk about Grafaiai, but continue.
No, well, we can come back to this. I don't mind. You want to stick with Grafaiai for a bit, and then I'll tell you my thing.
All right. So what was cool is that the Pokemon actually sent me this box. Like that looks amazing. It looks like this wooden crate filled with like fake leaves. It was so well done. And inside of it was a letter from the Paldea region saying that they want me to help document basically the Grafaiai, graffiti, and see what's going on with this mysterious Pokemon. And inside the box was a camera, like a Polaroid camera. It was the coolest thing ever. Like they literally just sent me a Polaroid camera. I took pictures of like my plushes. It was the cutest thing ever, and one of the most well done marketing things ever in Pokemon. Definitely something that I will personally remember forever.
That's super cool. They really made a fuss out of Grafaiai by the sounds of it.
Yeah, and it was fun. I mean, I think we should be treating Pokemon like, animals, like, and any marketing should be like a nature documentary. They've done it like 3 times already. So it's like, I hope this continues forever. And just like, it doesn't always have to be like nature documentaries. It could just be like normal documentaries. What if one time they have if they had like a Pokemon that like, I don't know, like a psychic type Pokemon, it could be like just like how they do with the found footage stuff. It could be found footage, or it could be like a creepy, like the Ultra Beast.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
They literally this week did the Ultra Beast vertical videos for Pokemon Go, for the Ultra Beast showing up in Pokemon Go, and they are some of the coolest things that I've ever seen. I want to see so much more of this.
Or it could be like a historical documentary, like talking about a Pokemon that actually was a part of history, or like shaped history, or like, I don't know. What if they're like, they could do like a parody of like of the History Channel and do like an ancient alien type of short that it's like that reveals some kind of Pokemon that made some kind of monument in the past or something like that. Like, they could do so much with like just documentaries and non-fiction style videos.
I love it. I hope they keep leaning into this. I do think the choice of Pokemon is slightly odd sometimes. Like the Zorua one that they did at the end of last year, really good, and everyone loves Zorua, and so it's super hype. The Galarian Ponyta one, the Galarian Ponyta is fine. I don't know. Maybe they expected it to be more popular than it was, or something.
Is it not? It's very popular.
I don't think it's not popular, but I don't think it's like the.
Grafaiai is not going to be as popular as
Well, but this is what I'm saying. I think there's some odd choices of the Pokemon they're doing it for, but like I like it.
But Grafaiai, you're saying Grafaiai is the odd one.
Grafaiai and Ponyta, I think like with Zorua, it makes sense to me because that was always going to be like one of the most popular Pokemon that they're ever going to do, for sure. Super mysterious, super worth a build up. Grafaiai, it's fine, but like what's, and I like it. It's just what's going to really distinguish this Pokemon when we get to the point of the game. Is Grafaiai going to be different to like any other just like new gen Pokemon? Do you know what I mean? Whereas like this is just like this is the equivalent of the like hyping up a Salandit or something, which is like fine, but it's just like definitely
I guess
would
it
make
is
more
to Salandit.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. This is just them hyping up like another reveal of a Pokemon, just like because they're anyways going to reveal Pokemon just like they revealed Salandit back in the day. So it's like might as well hype it up. It's like instead of constantly releasing multiple Pokemon, just multiple trailers of multiple Pokemon, just hype like spend more time revealing one Pokemon, and that way you don't reveal too many Pokemon.
I don't have an issue with it. I just thought, interesting choice. I wonder why they chose this Pokemon and like not say some other Gen 9 Pokemon. That's all.
I think it's just because it actually affects the landscape of Paldea. So like you see the trees in the map, they are defaced. And I hope there's more examples of that, of like Pokemon affecting the surroundings of of the region. That would be really cool.
I was talking about this in a video today. So in my mind, Enamorus is Pokemon number 905. So in my mind, Pokemon 1000 they'll make a big deal out of. They might not, but like I think they will. I don't think 1000 will be in the main decks unless it's like the final Pokemon. So that means there's going to be about 95 Pokemon in my brain. This is not official. This is just in my brain. There's going to be about 95 new Pokemon this generation. We've seen 13 across 5 trailers. Between here and the release of the games, I'm expecting about another 5, maybe 6 trailers. And even if they double up on the amount of Pokemon that they reveal closer to release, you're still only talking about 40 Pokemon at most being revealed between now and the games coming out. Yeah. Which would leave a further 55, like, still completely unrevealed, completely untouched. Which I think is 40 too many? Is 30 too many? I don't know, but like, it seems like a lot less than they used to do for like Sun and Moon.
Oh, well, that's obvious, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's complaining about that.
Well, I'd like more options to make videos.
Oh, well.
Hey, David Tennant. I wanted to segue with David Tennant.
Oh, that's what you wanted to segue to.
This is sort of a very personal conversation that we're just having on the podcast. I say very personal. It's just, so we're watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I haven't seen any new episodes yet since you've gone. Phoebe has begged me to ask you if we can do a trade. If we spend some time on Discord together watching more Full Metal Brotherhood Alchemist.
You want to trade a 60-episode show with a 300-episode
Doctor
show?
Who? No, we'll just do we'll do the first 13 episodes
but
and
then
maybe
that's a waste.
next season.
For me to watch 13 episodes of a show that I wouldn't continue with you.
Well,
because it's a long show and I've already started another long show. I don't have time to watch 2 long shows. It's just, I definitely do it if it was a show as long as Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
But Doctor Who's weird because you don't need to continue watching. There is a stopping point in my brain, which is because you don't even start on season 1 because you know about 7? This, right? Yeah, no, you start on series 1, which is the revival in 2000 and whatever. So there's 9 other Doctor. What do you know? Do you even know anything about Doctor Who? I'm interested.
I know the stuff that the general public knows about Doctor Who, and they don't watch it.
So there's 9 seasons or 9 Doctors before, each of whom had multi-series runs back in the 70s, 80s, whatever. Yeah. And I've never seen any of that stuff, and you don't need to watch any of that stuff. Yeah. The show went off the air, and then it came back on the air in the 2000s, and it's it's fantastic, and it's, in my mind, still holds up the stuff from the early 2000s. And there's 4 seasons, and then because they do the recasting of who plays the Doctor, and they oftentimes that lines up with when they bring a new writer in. They make for relatively complete stories, like, per arc effectively. And so when David Tennant leaves, even though there are plenty of good episodes beyond that, like, it's a pretty good stopping point. You could consider, I've watched, like, Modern Who or whatever.
You just don't like the female Doctor Who.
That's not the reason I don't like her.
Because she's a female.
No.
A femoid.
That is not it at all. I am being way too defensive about a position that I genuinely don't care that much about. I just don't think the writing's as good. The writing
How
really
does
let
that
her
work?
down.
The writing just changes every Doctor? What does that mean?
Yeah, because they have new writers. Yeah.
Really? Why would they do that?
Because the showrunner stops after X amount of seasons. So Russell T Davies, who's coming back, so I'm so excited. But Russell T Davies did the first 4 series of the revival. Then he passed it on to Stephen Moffat, and the first season with Stephen Moffat is really good, but it starts taking a bit of a downward spiral. And then after Peter Capaldi left with Stephen Moffat, they brought in this guy Chris Chibnall, who had done 2 episodes of Doctor Who, because they have the showrunner, and then they have writers. Sometimes the showrunner writes episodes. Sometimes they had this guy, Chris Chibnall, who'd done a couple episodes, some of my least favorite episodes. He came in, and I watched the first series with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, and it's her and Chris Chibnall. And it's just not good. It's not good, in my opinion.
I forgot that the next Doctor is Ncuti? Ncuti? Is it Ncuti?
Ncuti Gatwa?
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about.
I'm a huge fan of him.
Great.
So,
what do you know him from?
Sex Education.
Oh, same. Yeah. No, and I'm really excited for that. And they're bringing back... Russell T is coming back on as a showrunner. So they've got a fantastic performer, which, to be fair, Jodie Whittaker's a fantastic performer.
Yeah.
It's just the writing... I don't know why they chose Chris Chibnall. His episode... For anyone who's listening who watched Doctor Who, his credits beforehand were, an episode called Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, which I thought was absolute garbage. Another episode... I don't even remember. Just some other episode that I put into the recesses of my brain because I thought it was so bad. And then they brought him on, and I was like, look, I'll give it a really good go. But to be honest, at that point, Doctor Who had already been in decline for me for several seasons. And I watched a full season with Jodie Whittaker and the Christmas special following, and I just went, this isn't for me. And clearly the general public agrees, because the viewing figures for Doctor Who over the last couple years have tanked from prime time that this is the best BBC show, everyone's watching it, to just regular other normal shows are getting well above its viewership because just no one's watching it, no one's interested anymore.
The peak of Doctor Who, though, can you compare that to the peak of something, or another show? How the feeling that it makes you feel?
Oh, whoa. Wow, that's a hard question. I don't know.
Well, then I guess you don't really think about it too much, and you don't care about Doctor Who.
You must be right. I must hate it. You should watch it. I want to watch it. because it's so British. I want to show you Doctor Who.
Yeah. It will definitely be. It would be fun, but it's I don't have time to watch a long show that isn't part of my culture, I guess.
Wow. So it's not part of your culture. You're not interested.
If it's long, yeah, I don't care.
You gotta watch about 50 episodes, I reckon. It's about 50 episodes to watch.
Really? Wait, 50 episodes? That's 3 Doctors? 50 episodes?
It's 2 Doctors, covering... Yeah, well, it's a little bit more than that.
Matt Smith is after David Tennant?
Yes, and his first season is really, really good.
So
it's
I'm
really
not going to
fantastic.
do is it Lewis Capaldi or David Capaldi? What's his name?
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi. There's
Lewis
a lot of
Capaldi is a musician, and I don't know who David is. But, yeah, Peter Capaldi, I wouldn't bother, personally. He's good. Again, good performer, bad writing.
So then why am I watching it? Because the David Tennant stuff is just so good?
It's so good. It's magical. It's and to be honest, the first season of Matt Smith is also great. The first episode with Matt Smith in is the best episode of modern Doctor Who, which is unreal because of just that everyone loved David Tennant, and then they brought in Matt Smith, and within one episode he wins you over. He's actually incredible. But sadly, the different writers and different plot lines just start unraveling. Stephen Moffat, unfortunately, has a reputation as someone who can start a show really, really well, and then plot lines get convoluted, things are overwritten and overcomplicated and overconnected in a really not exciting way. So my I am excited to give Ncuti Gatwa and Russell Lee Davis a go, and I'll watch they're doing an anniversary special for the 60th or something soon. I'm gonna give them a go, and if I'll give it another season, and then if that doesn't land for me, I'll forever discard Doctor Who from my life.
So let's first see if that's worth it, and then we'll watch it. I do like shows with actual good endings, or like where it doesn't trail off. Mm-hmm. And I like, for example, shows that like I can't recommend shows that are amazing but the ending isn't that good. Like Game of Thrones, I don't recommend anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Even though like it really is like 90% amazing for me. Like it really is worth watching. But I guess it's just like I only also recommend shows that I think people that still have a following. But I guess now with House of Dragon, maybe there is a resurgence in interest in Game of Thrones, so maybe I should still recommend it. But it's like, again, it's a long show, and like to have a bad ending is like, or ending that, like, I don't hate the ending, but there are chances are to whom I am recommending they will not like the ending.
No, I get it.
So
you hate the ending. I get it.
Yeah, I was lying.
Yeah. On the podcast, gosh,
I've done it a billion times already. But if we're gonna talk about recommending shows that the other hasn't watched. It's crazy because like you already just started a show that I recommended, which is Fullmetal Alchemist, and I'm already thinking of the next anime. But it's less like you need to watch it right now. It's more like it's fun to think of based on your reception to Fullmetal Alchemist and the other anime that you've watched. What would be the next thing? And I really do think Vinland Saga is the
Vinland Saga.
It's the Game of Thrones of anime. I think I think
okay.
Attack on Titan really is the Game of Thrones of anime, but I think Vinland Saga is like the only anime I watched that didn't feel like an anime. It just felt like a normal show. There were barely any anime tropes. It was just straight story, and like it was treated like just an epic of this historical epic because it takes place in like Viking times. It's a story about Vikings. Some of it takes place in most of it takes place in England and Wales, and it's like it just feels like you're watching history because it is technically based on history. But it's like very,
Well, as soon as I'm done with Brotherhood, remind me, and I'll watch it. And my full intention is to get to the end of Brotherhood. I've got the next week. I'm gonna be taking it a little bit easier, so I'm hoping I can rope Phoebe into sitting down on the sofa with me. Because this is the end.
Wait, I think she wants to watch it more than you do. But continue.
No. Yeah, but this is the problem. When you showed it to me, then you also showed it to Phoebe at the same time. Good. And so now I have to watch it with her. I would be so much further if I didn't have to be dependent on Phoebe.
But now you have another person to like do some theories with, to talk about theories with and like hype up each other.
I don't know. I don't like hanging out with Phoebe that much. Like, podcast audience, please don't, let's keep this between you, me, and the internet.
You could have just told the bro. You could have told me. I would have helped you out. We
would have been like, Phoebe, we wanted to hang, but like we're going to be in the front room on our own, but like you can't.
We're going to be naked in there.
You don't want it, exactly. Yeah. And then she would have left, and that would have been it.
It's also it's Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, not sisterhood. It's like
that's exactly.
You have to watch it with the bros.
That's it. You can't.
Although to be fair, really. So I spent 2 weeks with Phoebe. Phoebe really is a bro. She really is the coolest. I kind of like her more than you, but let's continue.
That's not hard. I mean, I like her more than me, and that's a self-esteem issue mostly. But like, also she's pretty great. I woke up and did the soppiest. I'm just gonna tell the internet this is disgusting. I woke up this morning, and I swear this is not a regular occurrence. I just. Like creepy Edward Cullen watched Phoebe sleep for a bit.
What's a bit? A bit can be 20 seconds. It can be 3 minutes.
It was like 30 minutes. It was like 3 to 5 minutes. And I'll call Phoebe out. She's beautiful to me. She's not a pretty sleeper. She sleeps with her mouth wide open. Ew. And it's quite amusing to just watch her just asleep. Oh, good, she's gonna kill me. But I just thought, gosh, you are amazing, and sent her this big lovely text to wake up to. So I was already down in the office, getting ready for the Grafaiai reveal, and I sent her this big text, just like soppy text, just like thank you for being on this journey of life with me. I'm so lucky to have you and watch you catch flies first thing in the morning. But genuinely, she's just fantastic. I love her, and I love that we can hang out, and you're just like, yeah, she's really cool. She's honestly like cool to hang out with you. She is. She's brilliant. She like pulls her own weight, and I don't feel like the responsibility is on me to like, entertain, because like Phoebe's chill. She's cool.
Now I don't know if I brought it up in the podcast because I definitely talked about it to some people recently, But like, it really seems like all the significant others of like my male friends have more interests with like share interests with me and more interest than like my actual male friends. Like all your girlfriends that I am befriending and I am friends with like love all the things that I do, while you and let's say Liam and other friends of mine don't really care for some of my interests. It's hilarious.
This means one of two things. Either this is the plot line where you're like, can't they see they belong with me? And you're
all
like
of them.
secretly trying to call all of our girlfriends. Or it's just simply the case that what you have to realize is that our type, all of me and Liam and everyone, it's you. We love you, man. Like, that's what it is. It's a secret thing that we all agree on. Like, we have to find a girl who's like Ron. We have to find a woman who's like Ron. Because...
No, I think it's the first one.
Ah, okay, well, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I'm glad you're fine with it.
Oh, no, but Phoebe will upgrade in a heartbeat. But
like,
you got more subscribers than me.
I mean, like, isn't it crazy? No, because I think, well, here's the thing. In relationships, you shouldn't be the same person. You really should have a balance of, like, you know, different interests and, like, balance each other out in terms of temperament and, like, just how you see the world and all that. So it's like, yeah, I shouldn't be dating a girl an artist who likes to watch anime and listen to music. Yes, okay, the music thing, that really does help. Like, having the same taste in music as, like, your significant other really is, like, I thought it wasn't going to be a priority, but I think it is. Like, it really, sharing music is maybe more of a priority than, like, liking Pokemon or, like
Have you listened to the music of Doctor Who?
No.
Okay, we're going to blow your mind. Sorry, continue.
Because like it's also like the most vulnerable. Like you can share like if you share like a show with another person and they don't like it, you're gonna brush it off. But if you share music and your friend's like, I don't like it really. For some reason, it feels way more personal. Like if your friend doesn't like your music, so it's like the same thing with like a significant other. It's like you want them to like the same music as you, because it's like that way you can share like a personal part of your life. Because like music really does make me cry. So it's like I want to share that thing with my girlfriend or something.
This idea of I was just listening. I'm listening to this audiobook called "There's a Hole in My Love Cup," which is this therapy book. I probably mentioned it a couple times on the podcast already.
Maybe.
And in that they were talking about last night. I was just listening to a bit where the guy was talking about when it comes to relationships of any kind, whether that's friendships, romantic relationships, whatever, writing down a list of things that are important to you. Things that matter to you, things that make you feel good, things that whatever interest you, and you write down a sort of like negotiability list basically on like when it comes to, let's say, a romantic relationship.
Yeah,
it's not a case of like you should have someone that has different interests or that you shouldn't have someone with different interests or whatever, or some interests are just naturally going to be more important to you than others, and you write a sort of like, okay, maybe it's like 90%. If I'm having a partner, like 90% of the time, like it matters to me to a ratio of 90-10 that their love of music, their interest, their ability to communicate with me about that's how important that one is. It's close to non-negotiable. But if they were like right in all these other areas, maybe it'd be fine. But then you've got other things, whether that's like your faith or your religion or your culture, or whether that's like your food tastes or politics or whatever, and other things that you enjoy. Like, for example, I really enjoy theatre stuff, but it's not like a necessity that my partner in life also really enjoys theatre stuff. But it would be nice. So it's like 50-50, whatever, take it or leave it. And I think that's an interesting way to think about it.
It's basically tiers of priorities. And also, there's a difference between like what you prioritize and what you want versus what is just compatible in general. Like, for example, I am not a religious man. I guess like I practice all the Jewish holidays or whatever, and like Judaism is like an active part of my life, but I'm not like religious. I don't, and I'm also agnostic, so it's like it doesn't matter to me. It literally does not matter to me if my girlfriend is Jewish, but practically it does matter. Like where it's like we should share. We need to kind of share the same holidays for us to like hang out in a much more practical way, basically. Or it's like it's just sometimes different ideologies. If they have a different religion, let's say, and then slowly, what if they want to get closer to their religion, but then that could cause a strain or something? What if they should be able, if they want to get closer to their religion, they should be. But if it's a completely different religion, then that could definitely cause a strain. But it's like, or vice versa. So it's like,
you talk about that though, like the practicalities of sharing holidays, almost like a like the difficulty of a long distance relationship.
Yeah, it's like
it's not ideal at all, but
it doesn't matter. Like if I can find a girl that's perfect that is long distance, I'll try it out, but it's going to be impractical. Same thing. It's like, yeah, I'll definitely date, a girl who isn't Jewish, but it's like maybe in the long run there are going to be problems that are going to come up. I don't know. Like I haven't dated a non-Jew. It's like my attraction to a woman has nothing to do with her religion.
Sure,
obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I think this was through therapy because there's a lot of like fears I have when it comes to like getting like the perfect girl. It's like I don't want to waste my time like dating someone that doesn't have the things that I want, but slowly I'm realizing that obviously that's a stupid way of going through dating. You shouldn't try to find the perfect girl right off the bat.
It's a hard thing though, because I understand the logic of like, well, if I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with you, then it's like, well, what's the point?
Exactly.
Like,
it's like
the point is the experience of dating. And
exactly.
I think when you find the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, it's not the thing that makes it special isn't the guarantee that you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. It's the fact that this person is still continuing to choose to be with you and you're continuing to choose to be with them. It's always open to negotiation. It's always open to ending at some point. But the fact is, you're having such a good time and there's no end in sight for that. It just doesn't feasibly make sense. I can't see a reason that me and Phoebe would ever break up.
To be fair,
line up.
To be fair, we're dating with different goals. So, I mean, obviously 99% of it is similar.
Well, are we?
But
I'm interested.
I guess the goal is that I do want to get married and have kids and have a family. You don't. So it's like...
Well, the only difference there is the kids thing. Like, I mean, I don't want to get married, but there's no difference for me.
But there is a difference in like a person who is compatible. A girl who would make a good mother to my children is different than a girl that would just be fun to date for a long time. You know what I'm saying? At least in my mind.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
sure to me they're going to be the same because I'm still going to be dating people that I'm attracted to and they're going to have the traits that I'm attracted to. But it's like...
I guess my thinking is that, like, I wouldn't think about Phoebe as, like, would she be a good mother to our future potential children? Because I also know that she shares the exact same experience as I do in being a parent, which is 0. So, like...
Yeah, but some people are just better at being parents than others. Like, even...
I don't know how you can know that, though, until you have the kids. I don't know, can you suss that out during the dating process?
It has nothing to do with like it's less about predicting whether or not a person is good at being a parent, unless just the fact that you can try to predict whether or not a person is good at anything before they've done it. You can try. It's possible. There are factors that affect whether or not you're good at, I don't know, cooking. Like, I don't know, if you know how to do math, you're gonna be better at cooking. I don't know, like, it's like if you know how to do specific things, if you have experiences, there are various experiences that you can have other than parenting that are conducive to being a good parent.
Got you.
If you are a person, if you're a very selfish person, you're not going to be a good parent, I guess. And it's like, yeah, maybe once you have a child, it's going to change. But for a man, for example, I assume this could be completely wrong, but I assume that men change less once they have kids because there's no like physical change in their body to make them change.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know what the science is.
Like for a woman, I guess I would assume instinct kicks in. Or for most women, instinct kicks in once they give birth, and they'll have like some maternal instinct kicking in. I don't know. But for a man, nothing physically is happening. No chemical reactions happening in their body to make them change.
I don't know if there might be a science about like pheromones and like recognizing your own child. Like there might be something there, but I genuinely don't know.
Perhaps there's something psychological. It doesn't have to be like physical or like hormonal. Yeah. Maybe something psychological changes when a man sees his child. Perhaps. But again, it's like I don't think there's a vacuum. I don't think it's like once you have a baby, you're a completely different person.
Sure.
So it's like, yes, there are factors that, and even physical factors.
My thing is there aren't any qualities that I can think of in Phoebe, for example, or, hopefully even in myself, where I'm like, I'm glad we're not planning on having kids, because, like, I could spend my life with you as a partner, but, like, if we were having kids, like, nah, yeah, like that, you don't suit that much. I can't think of any qualities like that, but whenever you're dating, whoever you're dating, if you would like to one day have kids with them, you should observe their qualities and see if you think they would make a good parent ahead of time.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it like sociopathically. You shouldn't be like doing everything you have is an ulterior motive to just judge them. I'm just saying that it's like naturally, if you want kids, you're going to be attracted to a person who seems like they would be a good parent. Like that's it, basically. It's not about psychological judging. It's more like attraction.
Do you know what I think happened there? I think you got, because what you explained is like actually a really normal.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like,
but
if
I
you're
think
judging women
I think you got tripped up on the wordness of it all. I think you got tripped up on the like, wait, hang on. Now I'm a man on a podcast saying the woman should do, or you should. Oh, hang on. I got to think about this.
But that's the
problem. I think you're over worrying is the thing.
Well, that's the problem. Is because like I'm a heterosexual man. I'm gonna be talking about women, so it's gonna sound like I'm telling women what to do, or that I'm telling men what to do when it comes to dealing with women or whatever. But it's like that's just the dynamic. That's the opposite sex.
I get it. I think it's okay. I think most people listening to the podcast understand.
No, there's gonna be one person that doesn't understand, Toby. I assure you that. That's how it works. But who cares if there's one person who doesn't understand?
I don't know. Who does care? Do you care? Do you not care?
No, I care. That's the problem. And
yeah,
again,
that's a mood.
I think what you're trying to also say is that like clearly you're dating a woman who is just a good person. So it's like she would.
Oh yes.
She would be a good parent. But it's like
I don't know whether it's interesting. So my judgment on me and Phoebe as potential parents, I think about that, and I think we could make for good parents.
You definitely could.
But
it's just
we definitely are coming, as any new parent would, from a place of inexperience. And I would definitely be afraid of not being a good parent, And that's not to say that's not even to say like mean or anything. Like I don't think I'd ever be a mean parent. I don't think I'd ever be aggressive or anything like that.
I mean, you're definitely gonna have flaws, just like everybody else.
Yeah,
there are gonna things that honestly maybe you're like. Here's the thing: do you think your parents are good parents?
Yes, I think my parents are great parents. That's not to say, though, that, like, I'm realizing now as an adult, like, there are conversations and things that definitely could have been had or could have been dealt with better, and that if I was a parent, I would have to think about, like, having with my kids. And there's no, like, guidebook correct way of doing this. This book that I'm listening to, The Hole in My Love Cup, so much of it is centered around parental-child relationships, because a lot of trauma and a lot of the people the people who own your life are very often the parent, the teacher, the pastor, the whoever it is that you're trying to...
The pasta,
la vista, baby. And they're the people that run your life, even when you don't think that they are or whatever. And, like, with my parents, like, I think they've been incredible. Over the years, I think they've been fantastic parents. I think if I was parents like them, I'd have done a good job. But, like, I'm sure there are things that, like, they could have done better, and I'm just not, like, aware of it or whatever. And I'm certainly not going to get into it on the podcast.
Why not? This is the best place to do it.
I'm not going to drag my parents on the... I don't have anything to drag them for. I think they're brilliant.
The point is, though, that it's like, you or your brother, and, also my family, like, we didn't turn out perfect. Again, nobody is going to be turning out perfect. Huh?
Speak for yourself. What?
Yeah.
You didn't turn out perfect, but
yeah,
that's obvious. But like that's rude. My goodness, that was so. I would be a mean parent.
You don't even commit to your own jokes because you think you're sounding rude when you know.
I can't do it. I can't even do the bit if it sounds like I'm being mean. I can't.
It's funny because we actually did talk about how we're bad at pranking because.
Yeah. I hate pranks. I hate public pranks. They really upset me. I don't know why. I was watching one where it's like I was watching a TikTok, someone's got an earpiece in, and the people are like, okay, in front of you have two sets of cards. You read from the red cards, but then the moment we say read the line from the blue card while giving a speech, you have to read it no matter what it says. Okay. And he's given the speech, and he's reading a normal speech from the red cards, and then occasionally it's like, okay, read the blue card now. And they flip over the blue card, and it says, I left my washing in the tumble dryer or something, and it's just random things, right?
That is very much not embarrassing, but continue.
It's not even a thing, but watching it makes me so uncomfortable, and I don't know why.
I guess, we just empathize too much with the pranked.
I guess. The pranked.
So then, even if we're good actors, let's say, the acting goes out the window at that moment.
It does.
It's just like...
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Hey, you met my parents.
Yeah, it was crazy, and they really are they really are clearly your parents. It's very cool. Although I've seen your mom a billion times, through videos and other stuff, but your dad really.
Whoa! Rewind. Other stuff. Sorry.
You don't need to know. And your dad really is like if Toby was like an old, shorter man. Like imagine, like, cause as you get older, you get more, compressed. So it's like imagine a compressed Toby.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
He is. I catch myself more and more. I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, oh wow, I'm turning into dad. I see it. Like, no, I definitely get it.
I really liked how nice your dad was. Like you made him see, like when we talked about your dad, you made him seem more.
Oh no.
Stern.
Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah.
But he's very, very nice.
He's lovely.
And very cuddly. Not physically. I did not touch him actually, but like we didn't hug or anything. But like he seems like he would give good hugs.
Yeah, he does. It was his birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He turned 69. Go on, say it.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps we'll generate Pokemon 69.
Oh, it's that time. Okay, yeah, I see that. Maybe we will.
What is Pokemon 69? There has to be, like, I would assume people know what Pokemon 69 is already. Pokemon 69. Oh, it's Bellsprout.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, really? I would assume he's earlier in the decks. Bellsprout, really?
No. We should generate a Pokemon.
Alright. Generating. No! We got a good Pokemon this time!
No! Why? What is it?
Rillaboom.
Yeah, it's alright, but we got the better. We got the better primate on the thumbnail.
No, we don't. I love Grafaiai, and it's gonna be in the thumbnail. But this was probably one of the best in terms of on the thumbnail that we got so far.
We can use our regenerate to generate a bad Pokemon, so you don't.
Oh
yeah, no, Rillaboom. Hey, but Rillaboom. Now that was my starter. That was my. That was my
starter too.
Yeah, Grookey's super cool.
I think my favorite Pokemon in Generation 6. Oh, Generation 6. Generation 8. But, like, it's weird because it's mostly because, like Dragapult is cooler and Orbeetle is more interesting, but it's like, Rillaboom was exactly what I wanted. Like, other than, like, the fact that the drum is separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was going to look like. And I got it. And other people may have thought differently, but it's like, no, that's exactly what a ape with grass on it looks like to me. A drumming ape. A drumming gorilla.
I definitely I feel a little underwhelmed by it, and I don't know. I felt that so I really like Thwackey. I really like Grookey. I think the line from Grookey to Thwackey really adds up, and then maybe it's just the shade of green. I don't know, but there's something about that jump from Thwackey to Rillaboom that just doesn't quite.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's not that it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't excite me.
I
don't know why.
That's the opposite. People really do not like the color scheme of Thwackey, and Rillaboom, it goes back to what people thought the color scheme would be.
Interesting.
It's just Thwacky's not that good of a transition in terms of color. Well, but design-wise, I think Thwackey is really, really good. It's literally just the color. Like, the yellow-green is not that appealing. But if it was just greener or maybe even, like, browner, I would love it.
Interesting. No, I quite like the color of Thwackey, and I like the drumsticks in the hair thing. I think that's really cool. It's really cool. And it doesn't have to look perfect. It's a middle stage, and it's fine. But then Rillaboom, something about it, like with the drum, it feels wrong. Without the drum,
it's perfect. Honestly, without the drums, it looks exactly like a gorilla Pokemon. It looks like a gorilla grass.
It just looks a little too dull for me.
It's got grass on it. It's got grass, and it's got like a little vine tendril hair swoopy like Superman, and it's got grass cuffs.
Hang on, I'm gonna look at a picture of Rillaboom.
And when it is like on all fours, like the drum is on its back. It's like a ponytail scrunchy. It's very smart. I guess people would have just enjoyed it if like the drums were on his chest. That's pretty much it. Like instead of pecs, drums, drum pecs.
Yeah, I mean that would have been cool. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I think maybe they should have.
I'm not feeling you.
Well, not anymore. You're on the other side of the ocean. I think it should have been more green. I think it should have been more green on the body.
Isn't that too cliche? Like, make it green, now it's a grass type?
I don't mind cliche. Cliche isn't necessarily bad.
Well, this is why you don't design Pokemon.
No, yeah, but that's not why I don't design Pokemon. I don't design Pokemon because I didn't apply for a job at the Pokemon company to design Pokemon. So can you not? How about just pipe that? Just pipe it down. Just take the pipe, put it down, pipe down. Okay, chill.
Why is it called pipe down?
I guess the idea is that, like, if you're making a lot of noise with your, like, and like a flute or a trumpet, like a pipe or something, I'm telling you to pipe down. Don't know.
Is it like a train?
Right.
Like a
Hang
train
on,
pipe?
I'm gonna look up pipe. Pipe down. Request a command to be quiet. Ship crews received a variety of signals from boatswain's pipe. One signal was piping down the hammocks, which instructed the crew to go below deck and prepare for sleep.
Ah.
There you go. You learn something new on the Calm Mind podcast every single... I was going to say day, but we don't upload daily.
I mean,
but
if you didn't watch... Continue.
Yeah, that was I'm so sorry. You can...
I just didn't have the energy to like, fight over your voice.
That's fair.
You know what's funny? It's like... So I was noticing this, like, when I was there in England, where it's like, you got some... Like, I'm interacting with, like, so many people. So many, like, louder people, which is good. Like, you know, life of the party, or people who are, like, talking in the group. And it's like... Sometimes I'll have something to say, but it's like I don't have the energy to say it. Like I literally don't have the breath, and that's a majority of my life. Where it's like, I'm introverted, and it's like I also try to listen before I say anything, and like I'm also like socially anxious, so it's like I don't say anything until I am 100% confident in what I'm saying. But it's also like I don't have the energy to say a lot of things. Like that's also like maybe part of like when you say, like, when you greet me, like, we've talked about, like, me not saying, like, cliche, like, greetings and terms and stuff like that, but it's also, like, I don't have the energy to, like, say, like, that's formal fine. Greetings and, like, do formalities. It's like, that's I literally am out of breath, and maybe that's, you know, I have to do something about that.
You don't have to do anything about anything. Like, if it's not negatively impacting your life in any way.
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. I think I have the habit to overspeak. I actually think that makes me a really bad podcast partner.
It does
so
actually,
much.
kind of.
Yeah, it does. That's the one thing I struggle with. One of the things I definitely struggle with is like when it comes to any kind of live event, show, or anything where I'm supposed to be sharing the spotlight with people. I've developed an uncomfortableness with silence, which is not good because silence is fine. It's a normal part of conversation. And so I'm filling the gap. And it's not, you know, trying to be funny and trying to be insane. And it's like, actually, that's not always the best thing.
And we definitely brought this up in the podcast. Like, I do the same thing, but for the social anxiety reason, which is I don't want there to be an awkward pause. Not because I want to be the life of the party like you do.
Yeah, well it's not because I want to be the life of the party in a, like... look at me kind of way. It just feels like the thing to do. I don't know.
Why do you think it's the thing to do? Why do you think you're obligated to do the thing?
Oh, I don't know. Probably some deep psychological reason about wanting attention as a kid that I didn't.
Let's talk about that.
Well, you know, because my brother got a lot of attention because he was always misbehaving, and I just felt that I needed that. No, I'm not doing this. We're not doing this right now. I'm not... This is not happening right now.
How does that make you feel?
Toby. I feel like I should talk about it with my therapist and not on the podcast.
You're saying I'm not your therapist?
No, you're not.
Then what's the point of this?
What is the point of this? What's the point of anything? I don't know. What do you think the point of things are?
Did I answer what the meaning of life is on this podcast yet?
I don't think so. Did you answer? Okay, go. Shoot. Let's hear it.
Alright, so obviously, yeah, my meaning of life is not what the actual meaning of life is, because there probably isn't any meaning of life, because life is just random occurrence. But for me, I think what you should do with your life is just impart knowledge. I think that's what the meaning of, like, that's the purpose of my life. My life, at least, is to, like, pass on knowledge, to gain knowledge and pass it on. And that's, again, maybe that's why I do want kids. Maybe that's why also I like teaching. Maybe that's like also why I do my channel. But I don't have the temperament of a teacher, because I cannot tolerate kids sometimes. But I love talking about things that I'm passionate about and seeing others, you know, intake that passion.
I like that. Like,
what's your meaning of life?
My granny told me shortly before she passed, she said it's about experiencing love and sharing love. And that was her absolute definition towards the end that she wanted to share with me. I sort of assume I agree with that statement, but I haven't given it a lot of thought. Last night, I watched a video, though, that really slapped me in the face. And this was by, Dodie Clark, the musician.
Yeah.
She did a TikTok last night, and she's crying in it, and, like, oh man, it hit home. And I'm sorry, this might get quite heavy quite quickly, but she was saying that she was having a conversation with friends about how she would want to die, like if that time came and like it was like you could know ahead of, like, what would your ideal situation be. And she was saying that the discussion she had with friends was like, well, you know, I'd love to be like having my feet rubbed or my head rubbed or whatever, and I've got a friend with me, and I've got my
while dying.
Well, you know, you've got a cat on your lap and you've got like a cup of tea, and like what Dodie was crying about, which really hit home for me, was like, these are small things. Like these are like really small, achievable things to have someone in your life who's, you know, willing to just kind of be there with you, to sit with you, to hold your hand, to maybe give your head a rub or your back a rub or your feet a rub or whatever, and to have a cup of tea and to have like the love of a pet. These things are so achievable and they're right there, and like we get to experience them every single day, and they're small, but like they matter so much. They're the kind of things that people would want to, because I hear that and I think, yeah, a nice orange warm lit room. You know, I think when you're a kid and you're like, I'm gonna live forever, or you're like maybe an autistic kid like me, and you're like, nah, I'll die in some like blazing fireball last attack saving the world from like some anime-esque villain. It's
so that's what autistic people think.
But that's what I think. I don't know. But like, that's something what I thought. But then it's kind of like, but actually that sounds really nice. Like, it's really sad. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. It makes me want to cry. But like, yeah, like just to be there with a friend, with a partner, with a loved one, to have a cup of tea, and to be comfortable sounds perfect, you know? Yeah. And sad. Very sad, but perfect.
Why is it sad? What's sad about it?
I think dying sad. Dying sad. I don't know. It's sad for the people around you, right? It's but like, I don't want to. Yeah, I like, to me, and like to think that like, wow, those prerequisites for what would make a comfortable end already exist in my life. How blessed am I that like you know, if I am aware of when that should happen, hopefully many, 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 many years from now, to know that those things are sorted is kind of really comforting.
I think everybody wants a death like that, but it's more like when people ask like, how do you want to die? It's more like painless is really the answer. It's like, that's the part that you can't really
comfortable
choose.
Is what you want.
So if you can choose how you die, most people would answer just, comfortable, and what is comfort? Like whatever makes you comfortable. So it's like, so again, that's why I don't think it's like anything sad or anything, because like that just seems like that seems like the ideal situation. So
yeah,
and we all know that everybody's gonna die. So it's like, why am I so combative of when you said it was sad? I don't know. I think a big tenet of my life, and I think it's just like a lesson that I think everybody should learn, is that to try to learn how to get enjoyment from the small things, because that is one example where it would help. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not gonna want to die in some crazy way that isn't accessible.
Like in my mind, like I think the romantic idea is like fighting against the, you know, alien invasion from outer space. Toby was able to repel the attack with the superpowers he discovered, you know, were lurking within. And they built monuments, but what's this? There's a sequel. He's coming back, somehow revived. And it's like, that's not real life. That's obviously not gonna happen. You know.
You mentioned it that as a teenager you think that you're gonna live forever, right? That was really not a thing that I thought. That was not a experience that I shared. I wasn't rebellious. I wasn't typically teenagey. If teenage was an adjective, I think teenage is an adjective.
I can see that.
Like, so I don't know. What were you thinking in that moment? Were you a rebellious kid?
Yes and no. No in the like, not in the like, I'm gonna rebel against my parents and try lots of like, I don't know, risky behavior and like get involved with like bad crowds. Like, it was none of that, or be bad at school. But I think I've always had a rebellious side against like
society,
the society and the structures of being. Like when it comes to like eating in a fancy restaurant, for example, let's say as a kid, my inclination is to be messy and fart and eat with my hands and to be as rebellious in that way as possible, because the whole idea, I don't know, as a kid of like, why you got to dress up smart? These things aren't fun. This isn't, this isn't enjoyable. Because dressing up smart is something you do, I think, as a kid. It's something that you're forced to do, to wear uncomfortable clothes that don't quite, I don't know, that...
I think all clothes are uncomfortable, not gonna lie.
Fair enough. Well, you've got to be on your best behavior. You've got to be quiet, and like these scenarios, these places are very officious going on. Maybe someone in the comments will relate. I'd love to know. But like, these are things to rebel against and be cheeky and to make noise and to.
Why are they things to rebel against?
I don't know. They just felt that way as a child. I think.
Do you know
as
why?
A child.
Can you tap into that feeling? Why do you think you were just doing it just to go against what was the norm?
I think there was an association with fun in relation to playing and being noisy and sweets and Pokemon and Game Boys, and these things are fun. Sitting quietly and behaving. Oh, did I hear the strict voice of my grandpa? Maybe, I don't know. These things evoke. No, you can't. Don't do that. It's very oppressive. And so things...
You had people in your life saying that you're interested...
I must have. Maybe my grandpa, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
But like, I think these places, these zones of oppression for the childish spirit was something to always rebel against. And then in my favourite medias, the things like Doctor Who, the Doctor is this whimsical space wizard who the rules don't matter. You're above the rules. The rules don't mean anything. What matters is, does it make people happy? Does it bring people good health? Does it bring people excitement? These are the things that are important. Live a good life, We're all just in this big cosmic space journey together. And like these people, the people like the Doctor, these are the heroes in media that I enjoyed and ingested growing up and as a teenager. And I think I can see a lot of like how that has translated to who I am today, obviously, but certainly like, that's interesting. I hadn't sort of done that bit of self-reflection, but that makes sense. That checks out with how I am. I don't love, while now dressing up in a suit can be, I look hot on a nice occasion. Typically, dressing up in a suit in something formal still can feel very like I want to rebel against it. Like I don't want to, like, even at a wedding, like I want to wear a waistcoat and short sleeve and maybe some wristbands. And again, maybe this explains like why I have long hair. I don't know. I want to rebel against conformity. It's something that is. Formalness is a negative in the brain, but that's interesting.
But then once you're tied to
rebellion,
you are tied to another thing. Now you are tied to just you're like you're sheep to the other side now. Basically.
True.
And it literally sounds like the exact same thing. You're falling in line based on another stereotype. Like, I'm not a very conventional person. I don't have many interests that are common, but it was never in defiance of someone else. So it was always me just being myself. And I'm not saying that you fell into this, but a person who takes, I guess, rebellion to an extreme can fall into the trap of living their life based on like one philosophy, which is their identity being tied to something else, and in this case, being anti something else, instead of naturally picking up different perspectives and just living their best life.
Well, I don't know if not truly yourself. Myself is someone who can enjoy wearing a formal outfit. Under certain circumstances, it's pretty.
Again, everybody can have different philosophies, but like I guess my philosophy is that your philosophy shouldn't be based on being contrary to another philosophy. It should just be its own philosophy. It should be another philosophy or a mixture of different philosophies.
Well, I think it has. No, I think it has become that, and it's definitely
your philosophy is. Oh wait, become what? The first one.
It becomes its own thing. It becomes about like these mission statements of characters like the Doctor in Doctor Who, for example. These statements of, it's not just about being the antithesis of formality or whatever. It's about being expressing a kind of a freedom of being and not being not becoming a cog in the machine and being prioritizing people's well-being and happiness.
You're always going to be a cog in some machine.
Rules. Speak for yourself. No, you're right, but that's true. But like, those are values that I really care about. So, and genuinely feel like, yes, that is right to me. You're right. I am always going to be a cog in some machine, but well, yeah, I suppose I live on a planet in a society. Like I've got to operate with other people. But nonetheless, self-expression really important, really high value to me.
So the machine that you were in, were you not able to express yourself during that when you were part of high school or I don't know whatever you were part of that you thought you needed to rebel against?
I can imagine being at lunch with Grandpa, my grandpa who's, like in his 90s, a very stern man, and sort of saying like, sit up properly, be quiet, don't do that, don't do it. I was there to be at the table and to not say anything, or not just to look
seems,
like
it kind of seems when you have a authority figure that is very strict, the opposite is produced, right? I guess I just had normal amount of authority.
I guess, maybe so.
There was never a person telling me, "Hey, don't do that thing that you do."
Don't do X, don't do Y. Yeah.
Don't
do those things you enjoy.
And because of that, I was more okay with authority because my authority figures were normal and weren't like either power hungry or or just too single-minded. I don't know.
Yeah. And by the way, just to be clear, like I don't hate my long since deceased grandpa or anything. We're just talking about a man who was, brought up in World War I and World War II and is military. He was part of the militry and very strict, and that's all it is.
Just another guy like you.
Just a product of his time, and that's fine. Time. You just, it's interesting to think about. You've given me lots to think about for sure.
Because even in general, when it comes to the media I consume, it's funny because I do watch things when I have a set of let's say shows that I need to watch. I will prioritize the shows that other people are watching too, but I don't enjoy it based on whether or not people are enjoying it or not. Like for example, a lot of people will see a fan base of a show or a video game.
Oh right,
be very toxic and be like, I don't like that thing because the fan base is toxic. When the fan base isn't a reflection of the actual art.
No, I agree. I'm on board with that as well.
So it's I hope. Or just people who, let's say, they define their being by being anti something. Let's say, even if the thing that they're anti is bad,
I agree.
It's like you can take. My point is that you can take it to the extreme, just like you can take any philosophy to the extreme.
This is true.
And you probably did not take your philosophy to extreme. You're a very well-rounded person, and your life is relatively, balanced.
And a lot of these things, you have to. What we have to realize is I'm talking about stuff there that's forged in the memories of a 6-year-old child. Like, it's not like 6-year-old me is going, from this day forth, grandfather, I shall make all of the noise. And whenever I wear a formal outfit, I'll make sure to fart in the nice restaurant because it is a dishonor to, it's never that.
But how do you feel about that now your experience in life? You just now wasted your life not liking formal wear when maybe if you had a completely different experience and association with these formal wear, you may have enjoyed it. And now you just
I may have.
dismiss it for nothing. Again, there's nothing wrong with dismissing formal wear. Who cares? It's literally just clothes. But it's I don't care about it. But it's now you just had a completely different experience based on someone else's, how someone made you view a thing. Instead of...
I think that if you dig down deep, you will find there are many beliefs that you hold and many truths that you have that are based on the various people in your life. Like I mentioned earlier, the parents, the teachers, the pastors, and
what's with these sentient spaghettis that are making you?
I think you'll find that exists in all of our lives to some degree or another. And
just
now
to be clear,
I'm here,
just to be clear, I am not saying that any of what you had did not. It happened to me. It's more just that I'm the one posing these questions and you're not, for some reason.
So how do I feel about it now? Interesting. You're right. I probably have been over negative to formal wear. This is kind of the discussion we were having about exercise
sports,
not too long ago. Actually, because I hadn't thought about it, because I had know that is a definition about myself. I don't like this. I don't like that. So thank you. By talking about that now, possibly.
I got you, bro.
Possibly I'll be more open to formal wear, thinking about where that comes from. Maybe it's, and I'm not saying it's just that one thing with grandpa. It could be multiple things that happen throughout childhood and teenagehood, I'm sure, but
Another example, a good example that we talked about is your hair, for example. It's when I asked why do you have long hair, your answers seem to be less about you think that it is aesthetically pleasing and more you just don't like the average style because you think it's conforming.
Yeah, but I do like the aesthetic as well. Like, I mean, that is also true.
What do you like about the long hair aesthetic?
I like the way it looks. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question other than I like the way it looks.
Yeah, that's.
I think guys with long hair look really good. I think
that is the answer.
But you're right. Perhaps it's it's driven perhaps in part by the. This is interesting.
You really did seem judgmental to like short hair. Obviously, you don't care about whether or not.
Did you feel attacked? Was that?
Yeah, I was crying a bit. I looked away in the taxi that we were driving.
I'm sorry.
When you
had this conversation. You go cry to your spaghetti bowl.
We did talk about this. That again, this is probably not consistent. This is like a stupid thing to bring up because like there's literally no point. But I was like, I noticed British people they pronounce the A in ethnic stuff like ah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like you say pasta instead of pasta. You say
pasta. Yeah.
But like for example, bath, you're gonna say bath. So why aren't you?
No, I'd say bath. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd say bath. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So,
but if you're up north, you say bath.
I don't care about up north. You.
Okay.
Why do you think you say, or people in your area say, ethnic foods or ethnic words with an ah sound, but the normal English you say with an ah?
I think you're because pasta. What else?
What's the cheese you put on pasta?
Pancetta.
I'm talking about Parmesan. I don't want to pronounce
Parmesan.
it. You say Parmesan, not Parmesan, like a lot of British people do?
I say Parmesan, yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people, British people say Parmesan.
Why do I say it that way? Because that's how I've learned the word. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not saying that you're. I mean, you are technically wrong, but like, I'm not saying that.
You're saying I'm wrong.
No, I was gonna say I'm not saying that you're wrong, but then I thought like you technically it's pronounced pasta, but it's like who cares? Who cares what they're pronounced? That's my point. But it's more like my point isn't that you are wrong. It's more that I just wonder why there is a difference when
I don't know
when you already say like. Obviously, you're not going to know. It has to do with the origin of the language of
I don't know, man. This feels like a loaded question. It feels like you're insinuating, like, what? Toby, what's your problem with the ethnic foods? That's where, and it feels like a slippery slope. It feels like very accusatory.
It's just because it's a classic British thing to pronounce the A with ah, like bath.
Interesting.
But then for some reason, when it's not an English word, you say ah, which is the opposite of what you want. So it's like that's just what it's like. Who cares? In the end, but it's more like it's funny. It's just a funny inconsistency that I've noticed when I was there in the UK.
Fair enough.
The point is, whatever you think in the comment section, I think that too.
GIF.
So don't cancel me.
So I think it's Grafaiai is the new Pokemon. Hey, episode 20, baby. This is the big 2-0.
How do we celebrate milestones on a podcast? What are you gonna do?
We'll make a beautiful noise in the ears of the people listening. Are you all ready for your 20th celebration noise? Yeah.
Here's 20. Okay, go. What's the country near Spain? That's not Portugal.
France.
I can actually do like a fine French accent because like it's kind of close to the Israeli accent.
Give me a French. Give me a French accent.
No, now I'm on the spot. It'll never happen.
I want your best. You want your best pasta order.
You know what's weird? I am more comfortable doing a Japanese accent, but that is more offensive. Yes, like I'm way more comfortable to right now do a Japanese accent.
I'm not comfortable.
Do you want to hear my Japanese accent? Let me do my Japanese accent. I'll just do my Japanese accent.
We did a happy 20th anniversary sound. We don't need to now change. We're good. We don't need to change. Do you know? I genuinely, when I film a video and I want to reference a interview with one of the creators of Pokemon, 9 times out of 10, I will say the words, it was actually brought up in an official interview, and I'll gesture to the space where I'm going to later have the name written and think, but I'll never, ever say the name of the person who did the interview, because I don't want to get it wrong.
But you know, like, the main 3, I'm assuming.
Like, Junichi Masuda, Amori, and who's the other one that I need to be thinking of right now?
Wait, this guy doesn't know the CEO of Pokemon.
Oh, Satoshi Tajiri.
He's not the CEO. He's the.
Yeah. Who's the other one? Wait, give me a clue, and I'll be able to say right away.
He was there at Worlds.
Why is my brain farting right now? Can you just give me a clue?
The CEO of the Pokemon company is Ishihara.
Oh, Ishihara. Sorry, that's who I meant when I. Sedamori. See, don't worry. Okay. That's
so
what I
the
meant.
3 really is like Tajiri, Ishihara, and
Masuda.
Masuda.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
you can-
no. I knew Ishihara. That's fine.
Yeah, I know you know who Ishihara is.
My brain farted. Yeah. No, but like for example, with the Pokemon, I still am not confident that I know the 7th gym leader of the Galar region's name.
7th gym leader of the
The
Galar.
dragon leader.
Raihan?
Yeah.
That's the 8th gym leader.
Raihan. Oh, sorry, he's 8th. Raihan?
Raihan. So you pronounce it Raihan, probably, because you're British.
Maybe. I don't know. I got told off in a video once for saying it wrong, and like they were very mean about it. They were like the audience were like, "It's getting to the point, Toby. You've said it wrong like too many times, and now it's like just culturally offensive." And I'm like, "What? Am I not saying it right? I didn't know. Like I didn't know. Just getting it
Culturally
wrong.
offensive.
Literally, they were like,
Pokemon
it's just
name.
at the point where it's like just ignorant of you to a degree of like offensiveness, and I'm so sorry. So I just don't say his name anymore because I don't. Raihan, I know that. Okay, I do know it.
What's crazy is that you infamously mispronounced Cranidos' name as Crandinius.
Yes,
like 4 years ago, and then recently I like ragged on you for it, and you're like, no, I pronounced it correctly now, and then you said Cranidos like everybody else. But then we're walking away from Stonehenge, and you find a shiny Cranidos, and you're like, whoa, a shiny Crandinius, and it's like so natural you do want to say Crandinius.
Yeah, it's still in there. It's still hard written. Do you know what the weird thing is with Cranidos is that there's I was once walking and I found a random figurine of it on the floor. That's it. That's the end of the story. That's all I've got for you. And I was like, don't worry, you've been saved by the one person, like the Pokemon fan that you could be picked up by. I don't know your name, but I got you.
And this podcast is dead, just like Cranidos. Bye.